In our previous classes, we discussed about chemical properties of metals and extraction of metals from its ore, etc. Today we are going to discuss about the chemical reactions of non-metals. First one, reaction of non-metal with oxygen, water and some common acids and bases. All these reaction of non-metal with oxygen, water, acid and base, all are we discussed in our previous classes. Non-metals react with oxygen to produce oxides, non-metal oxides. Non-metals normally react only when heating or burning. Non-metals react with oxygen only when heating or burning to produces its oxides. For example, sulfur react with oxygen produce sulfur dioxide, S plus O2 gives SO2. Carbon react with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, C plus O2 CO2. Hydrogen react with oxygen to produce water. It's an oxide of hydrogen. 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2, etc. Many non-metal forms more than one oxides at different situations. For example, carbon heating with limited supply of oxygen produce carbon monoxide, CO. The same carbon we heat sufficient supply of oxygen, we get carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is neutral oxide, but carbon dioxide is acidic oxide. Carbon, when we heat with insufficient oxygen, produce carbon monoxide. When we heat carbon with sufficient oxygen, produce carbon dioxide. 2C plus O2 gives 2CO. C plus O2 gives CO2. Nitrogen forms 6 oxides when react with oxygen at different situations. First one is nitrous oxide or laughing gas, N2O. It's neutral. Next one is nitric oxide, NO. It's also neutral in nature. Dinitrogen trioxide, N2O3. It is acidic. Nitrogen dioxide, NO2. It's also acidic nature. Dinitrogen tetroxide, N2O4. Dinitrogen pentoxide, N2O5. Both are acidic in nature. That means almost 6 oxides are formed by nitrogen. All these are formed at different situations. Nature of oxides of non-metals. Oxides of non-metals are acidic in nature. After dissolving water, that forms acids. For example, carbon dioxide react with water. Carbon dioxide mixed with water produce carbonic acid, H2CO3. In our soft drinks, soda, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, etc., we mix carbon dioxide with water. It forms carbonic acid. That is why we said that overuse of these soft drinks causes ulcer or other or disorders in stomach. Sulfur trioxide forms sulfuric acid with water, SO3 plus H2O, H2SO4. Dinitrogen pentoxide form nitric acid with water, N2O5 plus H2O, 2HNO3. Nitric acid. All these carbonic acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, we studied earlier about acid rain. Carbon dioxide released carbon dioxide, sulfur trioxide and dinitrogen pentoxide, all are produced from the burning of fossil fuels, petrol, diesel, coal, etc. etc. When by our vehicles using the fossil fuels, so it produces all these three oxides. It float in air and mix with water to produce carbonic acid, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. It causes acid rain. H2SO4 and HNO3. Sulfuric acid and nitric acid are important acids that play a very important role in our industries. Due to acidic nature, many non-metal oxides directly react with water to produce salt and water. When acid react with base to produce salt and water, non-metal oxides are acidic nature, so it acts just like acid. SO2 plus 2 NIOS gives Na2SO3 plus H2, etc. etc. Halogens. Halogens means fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, are also non-metals and react with metals to form halides. NaCl, NaBr, etc. etc. These are the important source of halides in C. These halides are important salts. We know NaCl, the common salt we use, which is very important in our daily life. Then some important use of metals and non-metals. I am not going to explain all these properties of metals and non-metals in details, because you can just read and understand what are the properties, what are the importance of metals and non-metals in our daily life. All the points given in your text are very familiar with you. We use gold and silver, platinum, etc. for our ornaments, making alloys for metals and non-metals for different purposes. We use knife, utensils, etc. are metals, and the handle of all these are non-metals. We use electrical conduction wires, metals, and its non-metals are used to insulate it, etc. etc. A lot of example. We can stop this chapter here now, and you can check all the exercise and contact me personally if you have any doubts.